All right, Gump report. Oh, this so sucks. Guys, in New York right now, the weather is fluctuating so much. Right now, it's 56 or 59 degrees, and tomorrow it's going to be 70. This weather is so erratic right now. It's so annoying. It messes with my throat and my nostrils. Ugh. But you're not here to hear me complain about my nasal passages. You're here to hear me and think, dude, you must be excited about the acquisition. Let me give it to you like this. This acquisition will now hurt. And I repeat again, hurt pro wrestling. Now, I'm sure people would say, what? How? How is it going to hurt? Look, WWE, this is what many people probably think. WWE has now acquired AAA. One of the biggest, and there's a few of them in Mexico. This is is literally the biggest. It's great. You're going to be seeing a lot of Lucha Libre in WWE. Here's the problem with that. What do you think they're doing now? Understand, we are talking about a satellite company from a corporation that has acquired a promotion. Because remember, and this is what no one says, JD doesn't say this, Alex doesn't say this, Solomonster doesn't say this, the Slug Daddy doesn't say this, anyone else. They don't say this. I'm the only one that I can find that will say this openly. There is no WWE. It doesn't exist. WWE was absorbed from a company and it became a satellite company. It got absorbed from a corporation. It is a satellite company. And when it became a satellite company, it is just the former shell of itself. WWE does not exist. It's not because Vince isn't there. It's because it doesn't exist anymore. It is a company owned by a corporation that is doing what it used to do when it used to be independent. Just like TNA is also a satellite company. It doesn't exist as a promotion anymore. That's the reason why Scott D'Amore tried to buy it, to make it a promotion again. You need to understand that concept. There are no promotions in this situation. It is a satellite company that just acquired a promotion that is now an extension of that satellite company. That's what it is. And see it in disrespect. The original owners of AAA. I've never really watched AAA or see Triple Mania myself. I have not seen it. Maybe I've seen snippets of it when they were able to do it in English. But I've never really watched a full episode of AAA or watched Triple Mania. Never seen it. I saw snippets of it and never watched. At this point, the ones who have now been acquired, who sold, they don't understand what they got now. Because they're not a developmental. Well, technically they are now a developmental. But the thing is that NXT is the developmental and they're an extension of that. That's what they are. They're an extension of a developmental. Which does make them a developmental, but not the same way that a developmental would operate. Understand, I've already checked the sites. They're already considering A6ing AAA's name and turning it, excuse me, into NXT Mexico. You can go check on the sites right now. More than a few sites are already beginning to report, and this is today, April 21st. They're already talking about there is a consideration from turning AAA into NXT Mexico. And believe me, they're going to consider it because, understand, they could have called NXT UK something else that was probably already established in the UK if they had acquired a company out there, which I don't think they did. They just started it out there. But we are talking about a company that has been acquired by TKO Group Holdings satellite company, TKO WWE. And they can do whatever the fuck they want. And if you think they will not turn it to NXT Mexico, Even if the people don't like it, you got another thing coming because they will do it. Maybe they'll keep the name only due to the fact they don't want too much backlash. But that's if there's heavy backlash in Mexico. If there's no real major backlash in Mexico, believe that they will turn it to NXT Mexico. And here's where it gets interesting. The original people that was running it, I forgot the name of the original president of AAA. I believe he had passed away already. The only one that's left is his son, who's working as a general manager, and his wife, who is the current president of it, who will only be the shareholder. Understand, she won't have any rights. Whatever agreement they made, trust me on this, she thinks she has what she wants. No. Whatever agreement she made, she has limited power. Counting on what limited power she has. If she wants things to be run her way in NXT Mexico or AAA, former AAA to be honest. It is former AAA now because it doesn't exist. AAA doesn't exist. Lucha Libre AAA does not exist no matter what anyone says. It has been purchased, so it ceased being a promotion. So whatever happens, trust me on that, she is going to have limited power. And what does this mean for WWE? Simple. WWE's extension NXT, taking out the TKO so I don't have to keep talking so long. It is simple. Right now, they're going to have more meat in the meat grinder, in the cog, because that's what this is all about. This is about always having content. Now, let's make this very clear. I left a comment to someone, and they said, why did The Rock do what he did when he didn't even want to show up? And I left a comment, money. Simple. Money. It's always about this. Now, many people said, well, they've been doing that before. No. No. There is a difference between doing the job that the promotion requires of you and to make pro wrestling look better for not just that promotion but the industry in whole, and just making money from a satellite corporation that really doesn't care about what product is producing. Yes, they're going to make sure the product works. Yes, they're going to make sure the product is exciting and is profitable, but they don't care about pro wrestling. See it in this respect. Right now, The Rock, I did my review of Night 2 of WrestleMania. That was fucking bullshit. The Rock should have been there, but he didn't care to be there. In fact, he was touting from his house. Understand, if this was owned by someone who was a wrestling promoter, not exactly like Vince or Tony Khan, just someone who is a promoter who understands wrestling, he wouldn't have let The Rock just get away with that without at least making sure there was a plan that would work. What did we get? Travis Scott to do the work. No. A wrestling promoter would never let him do that. This was because Travis has connections in the company and that he's popular in the United States with black rap. That's it. Those connections in the company is about this. Not about if he's a great wrestler like Bad Bunny or Logan Paul for that matter. That doesn't matter. The connections of him in the company is because of the rap work he did and how much money he's been getting it in the United States. That's it. If you go international, not saying he doesn't have a fan base, but it's nothing compared to the United States and people listen to his shit. That's all that matters to them. Money. You must get this through your heads that you think this company, which is not, cares about pro wrestling. No. As I said in my WrestleMania review, it only matters that they make money. They don't really care what the product is, what they used to be. Hell, understand, WWE is known as a wrestling promotion before. Now, they don't care about making wrestling the forefront. They care about using wrestling to make money. There's a difference. Remember, There's a promotion that cares about making sure it's got the best wrestling. And then there's a satellite company that cares only to make a product that's profitable. You need to understand the difference between the two. And I do. This is not a pro wrestling promotion. It is a satellite company that only cares about making a product that is profitable, that in this case is profitable, exciting, and doesn't cause too much trouble for the main company of TKO Group Holdings. And now it's purchased a promotion that legitimately people are going to think it's going to be incredible, but it's going to be no different. It's an extension of that promotion. It is now going to be gold to use wrestling to make money. Not a promotion that was created by someone who loved pro wrestling. Because that's what this comes down to, guys. The love of pro wrestling. And it is not here now. This is what you got to get through your heads. This is about money made by a satellite corporation that now has been purchased originally as WWE and now has acquired AAA that will probably be turned into NXT Mexico unless the backlash is so bad in Mexico that they have no choice but to revert it back or not even go there once it's been put out into the ether that we're going to change the name of AAA to work with our brand of NXT because it is going to be part of NXT. It's not going to be part of Raw. It's not going to be part of SmackDown. Just like when it came to TNA, understand, TNA is not getting purchased unless Anthem is willing to sell it because WWE doesn't own it. It's not like Scott D'Amore managed to buy TNA. If he bought it, he could sell it to WWE because he is a promoter if that's what he wants. If Anthem wants to do it, they're going to make arrangements through the TKO Group Holdings, not WWE. No. You think it's going to go through WWE. It's not. It's going to go through Ari, then it'll go through the shareholders, then it'll go through Nick, then it's going to go through Rock, and then finally the person that's going to learn about it will be Triple H. Because Triple H, as I said before, is only there to run it the way that he's allowed to run it. As long as it brings in money, Ari Emanuel does not give two fucking flips on how he runs the wrestling promotion. All that matters is that it's bringing in money and there's no major backlash that will bring down the shares of the company and bring down the profits. That's all that matters. Now, what do I think is going to happen at Worlds Collide? Because it's going to be NXT AAA Worlds Collide, not Raw and AAA Worlds Collide, or SmackDown and AAA Worlds Collide. It is NXT. They added that to them so they can have more content. In other words, more people to come in and go through the meat grinder that is called WWE. I have no idea. I don't know how they're going to set this up. I don't know if the wrestlers in AAA are going to look good or not. Yes, we saw Van Kingo and several other people there, but I doubt that when Worlds Collide comes around, you're going to be seeing the favorite luchadors from AAA actually get what they want and to have a credible showcase where they can actually go up against wrestlers from NXT and look great. No, I have a feeling that the NXT fans are going to be catered more than the AAA fans. Not saying that there won't be a couple of them that's going to look good because they're going to probably want them to join NXT and leave the AAA before it's possibly rebranded to NXT Mexico. Now, one more thing. Alberto Del Rio. I know people are going to ask me about that. What do I believe about Alberto Del Rio? He was working AAA, and they're wondering, is he going to show up in WWE? No. There was a lot of controversy before what happened with him and Paige, because there were several problems with Alberto Del Rio before he left the company. After what happened with Paige, trust me on this, they don't want nothing to do with him. And to be honest, the way Alberto is, he probably will have nothing to do with them either, unless there's something that could be worked out where he's going to get a big buttload of money, counting on if he's that important, which he's not. He's going to leave AAA. He'll probably finish up what he's doing, and then he's going to leave the company. That's the deal. That's the way I believe it's going to be. If he stays in AAA, which I'll be surprised, before it's rebranded to NXT Mexico, because I still believe they will rebrand it. And unless there's a huge backlash, they will keep it as a AAA. That would be the only way they're going to do it. If there's no backlash, they're going to do it. He'll probably be gone before they start actually airing anything of NXT Mexico on the app or on Peacock, because eventually they're going to show it. They're going to show it in America. They're going to do it. But that's what I feel. This is what my thoughts are on the acquisition of AAA by TKO. I hope you enjoy it. You will be seeing Stand and Deliver right now. I'm actually recording this earlier. I didn't do it last night because of my throat being still messed up from my, well, like I said, I was told I had like a virus, like a nasal infection, a virus or something, which sucks. So it was hard for me to talk. But today, as you can hear, I can talk pretty well, so I made it now. And I'm about to do Stand and Deliver. So you will see Stand and Deliver first, and I'll say I'm going to release this the next day. And I hope you enjoy Stand and Deliver review, even though it is a couple of days late. Peace.